Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be talking about Donald Trump buying Bitcoin, okay, via his Trump Media Technology Group here. We have a news article here about TMTG is planning on buying some more Bitcoin. We'll go over the news for the day with this, and then we'll take a look at the charts, and then we'll go over some of your altcoin and cryptocurrency requests, and we'll talk about stocks too, because stocks are currently trading right now. I'm trying to get my TikTok stream to get going here, but I'm having some data problems and also Wi-Fi problems here, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream on TikTok, but here I am on YouTube. Anyways, let's get right into it, okay? We do have here, this news article from the Financial Times, and they're saying here that Trump Media Group plans to raise $3 billion to spend on cryptocurrencies. The U.S. President's administration and family have become staunch advocates for digital assets. And they go on here to say that the Trump family media company plans to raise $3 billion to buy cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, and a bet on the kind of digital assets that have been championed by the U.S. President's administration. Trump Media and Technology Group, which is behind the Truth Social app and controlled by the President's family, aims to raise $2 billion in fresh equity and another $1 billion via convertible bond sale, according to people that have been briefed on the matter. TMTG's capital raising could be announced ahead of a big meeting of crypto investors and advocates in Las Vegas this week, where Vice President J.D. Vance and Trump's sons, Donald and Eric Trump, and Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs, are expected to speak. The terms, timing, and size of TMTG's capital raising could still change. TMG said in a statement that apparently the Financial Times has... Alright, we don't need to really get into that. But the plan is the latest example of the Trump's family's push into cryptocurrency, which has sparked concerns about conflicts of interest. The president has vowed to make the U.S. The crypto capital of the world. His interest in crypto has spurred a wave of deal-making aimed at seizing on the revival of cryptocurrencies. The price of Bitcoin eclipsed a record high price of $109,000 last week. And TMTG's approach is similar to that used by Strategy, which was previously called MicroStrategy, a former software company whose market value has surged to more than $100 billion after using debt and equity offerings to buy tens of billions of dollars in Bitcoin. That's good for us Bitcoin cryptocurrency investors. And in case you guys are wondering who's actually buying Bitcoin at these prices, well, Donald Trump and his company is planning on buying Bitcoin at these prices. So why aren't you? Okay. Why are you not buying some Bitcoin? I mean, I know Bitcoin is a pretty high valued asset. It's currently trading at $109,000 and $134. Okay, but there's wealthy people out there, such as Donald Trump and some other billionaires out there that are actually planning on buying some more Bitcoin. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna see if I can get my TikTok stream here going, because I'm having problems with my Wi-Fi, and also my phone company is slowing down my data because I use too much data, I guess. Let me see if I can get this thing back on the network here. I'm trying to get my TikTok stream going here. This is very unfortunate that I can't get my TikTok stream to get going here. You would think, like, with the money I pay for Wi-Fi and also my phone plan, I would be able to get some good service here, but apparently not. Apparently not. Let me see if I can let's do something here. I'm currently troubleshooting here, guys. Bear with me. Let's go ahead and take this setting off. Come on. Was it? For 1 hour. See if that helps. Alright. Let's see if I can get this thing back and working up and running again. TikTok? Speak to me, TikTok. Say something. This is not looking good. Lost connection. Yeah, I see that. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let me try to redo the stream here. Let's try this again one more time. And I'm gonna go live. Just bear with me here, guys. I mean, we're looking at the price of Bitcoin. You can see it on the screen. I'm still live streaming here. I'm just trying to fix the stream for my TikTok viewers. Let's see. Let's try to go live now. And I think we're up and running. I think I had to turn the VPN off on my phone, so that way we can get going. I see one person just joined in on TikTok. All right, so we got TikTok going here. Just for my TikTok viewers, quickly, we are looking at some news that came out today about Donald Trump. His company is planning on buying about $3 billion in cryptocurrencies. And I'll just summarize this. They plan on using, they're going to sell $2 billion of their stock to go buy some more Bitcoin. And also they're raising another $1 billion in convertible bond sales to buy some more Bitcoin. So that's who's buying Bitcoin right now at these crazy prices at $109,000. Not so crazy for a billionaire to get involved, right? But yeah. $109,000 Bitcoin. Where could Bitcoin go next? We do have a Fibonacci analysis here that shows that, you know, measuring from 94,000, where Bitcoin was trading at about a couple of weeks ago, is where Bitcoin was trading at, 94,000, up to the high that it made at $112,000 last week. It gives me this Fibonacci analysis number. It says that we could see Bitcoin at $123,000, and I would expect that probably to happen sometime in June is what I'm expecting Bitcoin to get up to $123,000. It could happen later on this week before we get into June. But the 1618 is saying that we could see $123,000 Bitcoin, and then the 2618 is saying that we could see $141,000 Bitcoin as some long-term price targets right now. Right now, Bitcoin is currently consolidating, but also in an uptrend. That's good to see. RSI for Bitcoin, right? The relative strength indicator is saying 65, so Bitcoin does have some room to run if it wants to continue running up to higher prices here. MACD is showing some selling pressure has been hitting Bitcoin recently in the last few days. We're looking to see if this maybe turns into a pink candle going into tomorrow, showing that the buyers are stepping in at these prices. I also like the fact that stochastic RSI is pretty low here on Bitcoin, okay? Which means that even though we're going up, which is very interesting, stochastic RSI is low. This thing has enough jet fuel and rocket fuel to launch itself up to higher prices. Now, if Bitcoin for some reason decides to come down here, all right, to lower prices, let me just adjust my indicators here. We could see Bitcoin come into my purple buy zones here. I'm looking to buy Bitcoin at about $102,000 to $105,000 if I'm lucky enough to get it at that price, which coincides with the 0.5 retracement level at $103,000 and the 0.618 at 105. That's the golden pocket number. You should try to see if you can scoop up some Bitcoin at that level. You might even get luckier, and if Bitcoin does make a deeper retracement, you got the 0.236 level saying that you could see some Bitcoin prices at $98,000. That might be your last opportunity to buy Bitcoin below $100,000. I think this purple buy zone between $94,000 and $98,000 it's a reach, but you might be able to be lucky enough if we get some bad news affecting the markets. You might actually see Bitcoin come down to like $94,000, $98,000, and I think that's a good zone to be buying Bitcoin. So that's Bitcoin in a nutshell. Downside targets and upside targets. I just did a naked chart here, and I got my buy zone in the 90,000s, and I got my buy zone here in the low 100,000s. But this thing is just climbing up and to the right, and I'm giving anybody a chance to buy Bitcoin in the correction, because Bitcoin has been going up and to the right ever since the beginning of April. The only time you can get cheaper Bitcoin is when it goes sideways. Okay, and then it ends up going back up again, and then it goes sideways, and then it goes back up again and goes sideways. And guess what? Now with Donald Trump trying to buy some Bitcoin, his company's trying to buy about $2 billion worth of Bitcoin and do the same thing that MicroStrategy was doing. I don't know if this thing's ever going to go down, to be honest. But if it does, I mean, we do have the buy zones here. It would be nice if we could get it back at, you know, the low 100s or the low 90s here. But I think the cat's out of the bag right now. Everybody knows that MicroStrategy and now Donald Trump's company is trying to buy Bitcoin. And everybody else is trying to buy Bitcoin. How are we going to get Bitcoin below $100,000 again? You tell me. You tell me. Well, with Bitcoin going up in price, this is going to be good for the altcoins. We can talk about some of these altcoins here. If you guys have any requests, go ahead and put in a request. And for the people that are in the live stream, go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. When you hit that like button, it's going to get some more people to come into the stream, and then we can talk more about these cryptocurrencies and the altcoins. And of course, you know, when I'm reviewing your altcoin that you're asking me to look at, if there's more people looking at that altcoin, that means there's going to be more people trying to buy your altcoin. So when you hit that like button, you're actually helping yourself out here, as well as helping me out, and I appreciate you for doing that. Let's take a look at Sui. Okay, let's take a look at Sui. Currently trading at $3.67. It's a crowd favorite out here. I see Idrias is in the chat here asking, is it a good time to buy or is it going to drop? I don't know if Bitcoin's going to drop. It seems like every time Bitcoin goes sideways, it does like a week of going sideways. That's usually a good week to buy some Bitcoin and crypto. Whenever you see it dip down, you should be buying. Right now, it's not giving anybody a chance to buy a correction or a dip right now. We had like kind of like a correction this weekend, and then Donald Trump then said, "Oh, actually, we're not doing tariffs on the EU," and then that was it. That was your dip right there, just like a couple of days. But here we are. We're looking at the Sui. Let's go ahead and I'll put on my normal indicators here. Okay, so we're looking at Sui at the daily chart. If Sui was to come down, I do have a Fibonacci analysis that says that the golden pocket number is $3.46. We've already seen that happen this weekend, where we saw Sui get down like $3.40. I actually had my stop loss get triggered, and then I had to get back into Sui again. I just have it in there just in case Sui does a significant drop while I'm sleeping. But I ended up putting my stop loss back in at like $3.40 here, and I think Sui's going to be launching up to higher prices here. We're currently hugging the 200-day moving average, which is this red line here. 200-day moving average is at $3.44. That should act as support. We kind of lost that support yesterday, but it should act as support going forward. And if Sui continues being bullish, we do have a 1618 that says Sui could get up to like $5.59. And that could happen sometime later on this summer, maybe next month, maybe this week. Who knows? But I'm expecting a $5 Sui in the future here. Okay. If Sui was to get bearish for whatever reason, we do have the deep retracement here at the 0.236 at $2.64. And then we also have the 0.382 at $2.95. And then we have the 50-day moving average, which is should show some support at $2.89. So I think 0.382 or even the 50-day moving average is a good support area for you to be buying some cheaper Sui if you can get it that cheap. I don't know if Sui is actually going to go down that low. Idrias is asking me about XRP. We can take a look at XRP. Thank you for putting in the requests. Don't forget the like button if you can, and appreciate the follow. Got myself a new follower here on TikTok. Thank you. Marco's in here. Yep, I appreciate you too, Marco. We're over here trying to create a good, helpful community here, and I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys appreciating me as best as you can. All right, let's get into let's look at XRP from my guy here asking about XRP. We're taking a look at the XRP now, currently trading at $2.31. And it's the same thing. I always get XRP on every stream. It's going to be the same thing as I've been saying. If we can get past $2.60 on XRP, I see that XRP could get up into the $3 range. The 1618 says that we should see a $3.28 XRP. But going back into the Fibonacci numbers here, if for some reason XRP decides to, become bearish on us, it would first have to break this red line here, the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is sitting at $2.26. That's when I would start to be concerned about XRP. But XRP has actually been one of the stronger cryptocurrencies. It's been above its 200-day moving average, whereas like these other cryptos, even Bitcoin wasn't as strong as XRP over the last few months here. And Ethereum and Solana are just now starting to get above their 200-day moving average. So I like the fact that XRP is above it and showing some strength, but it's been doing some sideways consolidation. If XRP loses the 200-day moving average, we could come down to the 0.236 retracement at $1.86. And we might even revisit the lows here where we saw XRP as low as like $1.61. But I think $1.80, $1.86 should be a good buy zone area for you XRP investors out there. But who knows? I don't know if XRP is ever going to go below $2 because I listen to the XRP army out there, and they say like anytime XRP goes below $2, they're going to buy some more. So you might get beaten to the punch. You might not be able to see $1.80 XRP because XRP army is going to buy it before it even gets down that low. I like the fact that XRP has low stochastics, which means that this thing is ready and primed to have an explosive move to the upside. I think we're going to see a $3 XRP, and it might happen before 4th of July. I think the fireworks are going to be starting on XRP soon here. And then, of course, we'll see how it is on 4th of July. But I think, you know, in the future here, we could see a $5 XRP, which is the 3618 Fibonacci over here. And also some previous Fibonacci analysis says that we should see a $5 XRP, $5.21. So I'm a believer that XRP is going to get up to $5. I actually have some XRP myself. And if XRP gets up to $5, you're basically doubling your money. You should be taking some profits, right? I think if you're in cryptocurrency world and you got some altcoins and you double, you should at least be selling something. You should be selling some of your crypto so you can book in your profits. And then if the crypto goes down again, if the crypto goes down in price, then you can just buy more of it. But not financial advice, but I think in my opinion, if you double your money on any of these cryptos, you should be taking profits. Sell something. Just get used to it. You know, get used to clicking that sell button every now and then when you're up, not when you're down. Let's see. Dylan is asking me about TIA. Okay, we can take a look at TIA. And then Idrius is saying that he's thinking about selling his XRP and buying ZBEC. We can take a look at ZBEC as well. Let me go ahead and write these things down since you guys are making these requests. We're going to look at TIA. And then we'll look at ZBEC. All right. Appreciate you following me there, Dylan. Thank you. And then TX Jeff, you're asking about Mines of Dalnaria. I'll put that after ZBEC here. Mines of Dalnaria. Alright, very interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at TIA. Appreciate that request. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you guys can send me some of those live stream gifts, that'd be cool too. All right, so here we are looking at TIA right now, currently trading at $2.64. I'm just getting familiar with this chart. Looks like this thing has seen better days here. Where this thing topped out over here at like $20 in February of 2024. And then it had a brutal downturn like a lot of these other altcoins and cryptos out there. I guess the first order of business is this thing actually bottoming out here? Right? I gotta see some bullish divergence to get me... that's one of the first things I look for when things are bottoming out. I do see some higher lows here on the RSI. And of course, we have made lower lows on the price, so that is qualifying as bullish divergence, so that's good to see. The next thing you want to see, let me go ahead and get rid of the moving averages here. The next thing you want to see with this thing bottoming out is you want to start making higher highs than some of the previous highs. The last high here was about $4.47. So that's the mark you need to beat. I'll go ahead and mark that on the chart now. Okay, we want to get above here, okay, about $4.48, that red number. Because if you do that, then you know you're actually making higher highs and not lower highs. Because right now we've been making lower highs. You know, this could qualify as a lower high if we don't get above that. So we got to get above this high at $3.38, and then we got to get above the other high here at $4.47, and then you could say that you're basically making higher highs and higher lows. So like you got to get up, get above that level, maybe get rejected a little bit, come down, make a higher low, then come back up again, break through $4.48 for real, and then you know you're in an uptrend and you bottom out here on your asset here. So this is Celestia, TIA USD, and that's what you're really looking for with this coin here. But I do like the fact that the stochastics are low right now on the daily time frame. RSI is also relatively low. It's in neutral territory, so this thing has room to run if it wants to go run. And then of course, let's see, the MACD, these green and red bars here, I do like the fact on the MACD that you have, of course, selling pressure here in the red, but it's starting to die down. You got some pink candles showing up, and these pink candles will eventually turn into green candles, and then you know for sure that the buyers are stepping in on Celestia, and you got yourself, you know, the beginning of an uptrend probably. So this thing is looking good. That's a good pick right there. It might be bottoming out, and you might be seeing higher prices here on Celestia. All right, let's take a look at ZBEC now. Let's take a look at Mexi Exchange. Okay. All right. We're looking at the ZBEC network, currently trading at 0.003 pennies. Oh wow, this thing is down like 21% today. This thing finally, yeah, and the reason why is because it's been overbought, overheated. It actually had a pretty good rally last week. Okay, this thing was going up like 20%, like almost every day last week. And now you are overbought. You got anything above 70 on the RSI is considered overbought. On Monday, a couple of days ago, you were at an RSI of 90. And then what? Oh, I said Monday a couple of days ago. That Monday was yesterday. I'm a little bit confused with the holidays here. And then Tuesday, which would be today, you're at an RSI of 68. So now you're not overbought, but that was after losing about 21% here. The buying pressure is dying down on this crypto. There's a chance that you might come down a little bit further, and if you do, right, we got to figure out how low could we possibly go here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this Fibonacci analysis so I don't confuse you guys here, but looks like if we do come down, I'm going to use some Fibonacci analysis here. Let me just throw that over here. Okay, so if we do come down, you're probably going to most likely come down to the 0.618 at 38,456 here. Looks like we already did that. We already came down to the 0.618 earlier today. A deeper retracement, if this thing does come down, you might come down to the 0.382 at 29,338, or even the 0.236 retracement at 23,697. And yeah, if you do come down to those levels, you're getting a better price than where you're at right now. Okay. But if this thing is going to continue being overly bullish, then maybe that 0.618 is the low, the higher low that you made, and you might end up coming up to the 1.618, making a higher high and going up as high as about 77,091 here. That's almost like a double on price from where you are right now. But yeah, I'm seeing, you know, with the RSI being overheated, stochastic RSI is also overheated, and the MACD is starting to show buying pressures dying down. I'm expecting this thing to go sideways at best and maybe come down, maybe hit a deeper retracement at the 0.382. All right, I see Porky's in the live stream. What up, Porky? And then John 316, blessings, and smash that like. Yep, listen to John, guys. Smash that like button if you haven't already. All right, so we looked at Tia and Zbek, and let me go ahead and show you guys my buddy Porky here. We gotta get his numbers up here on TikTok. Okay, he's also another good crypto live streamer. He does a lot of good TikTok videos about crypto, and we gotta get his numbers up here. Okay. He's doing it. He's doing it. He's getting up there. But he's also a little bit more popular on YouTube. Is another guy that I also follow. But let's take a look at Porky on YouTube here. Porky Flounder. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There's Porky right there. He's got a little bit over 1,000 subscribers. 1.4. I think when I first started following him, he had like 1.1 thousand. He got a little bit over 1,000 subscribers, so he's building up his channel here, and you know, he's got a lot of good videos. You'll get all of his content here, his videos, his YouTube shorts, and of course he goes live stream like later on at night. He's from California, so he does the late night streams for you guys. All right, but yeah, let's get back into looking at charts here. We got another request here for Mines of Dalania. Alright, Mines of Dalania. Did I spell that right? Okay. I don't really have that many choices here. I believe this is a crypto, so let me just go into crypto. Alright, here we go. Trump coin. We don't want to talk. We're not looking at Trump coin right now. All right, so I'm just gonna click on this one. See what I get. Okay, so this is Mines of Dalania, and this thing is trading at 8,073. And what the hell are you trying to get me to look at here? What is this nonsense? This thing jumped up on May 14th, 458%. Then the next day it lost 43% of that, or half of that. And then the next day it lost 74% of that. This thing's trading. Like, there's not much I can do with this cryptocurrency here. I'm not sure how to find Mines of Dalania. Maybe I could try looking it up on CoinMarketCap. See if I can pull up on CoinMarketCap and get a better chart. But if this thing tells me to go on Deck Screener, then I'm getting the hell away from it. Because I don't do things on Deck Screener. But let's see what comes up here. Mines of Dollar. This is an NFT. That's interesting. So if you guys want to look up Mines of Dalania, the NFT, you can check it out on coinmarketcap.com and learn more about it. But I'm not sure if this, I don't think this is a tradable item here. You can't really trade it on an exchange. All right, let's see. Oh, Laley05 is asking about XRP. We already talked about XRP early in the last stream, but I'll do a quick review here. All right. XRP needs to get above $2.60 in my opinion here, and if it does, it's going to shoot up probably into the $3 range. The $3 range, where you got the 1618 saying that it could get up to like $3.28. All right. If I turn on the moving averages here, moving average is showing that XRP is respecting the 200-day moving average. If you lose that, then you have to start getting a little bit concerned about XRP. But it seems like the XRP army defends XRP every time it gets down to $2. I don't know if XRP is going to be allowed to go below $2 because XRP army is not going to allow it. They're not going to allow it. But if it does go down to $2 or below $2, then you get the 0.236 rotation saying that you could see a $1.86 XRP before you get a reaction and get some support in that area. And then maybe XRP tries to retest the lows here in April at $1.61. But yeah, that's my summary analysis on XRP. We could see $3 XRP, or it could go below $2 if XRP Army is not able to defend that level. Injective. Okay, so we got a request here for Injective, and then ICP. And then Idreas is asking me, is it a good idea to sell XRP and buy some ZBEC? Let me go back to ZBEC here real quick, since you mentioned it. We did look at ZBEC. I couldn't remember what we were saying about ZBEC. No, I mean, I would wait for ZBEC to kind of cool down a little bit more. Maybe come down to this 21 EMA sitting at 0.002 pennies. I think this thing could still lose half of its value. Unless it's going to stay, you know, if it's going to stay overbought and catch more bids, then, you know, it could stay overbought. But I think this thing is likely to go down. I think XRP is more likely to go up. I would actually stick with XRP for now. And then you come revisit ZBEC, see if you can get it for cheaper. And then maybe you can sell some of your XRP to buy some ZBEC. But I wouldn't do that right now. I would probably wait maybe a few more days, maybe later on this week. And then try to scoop up some ZBEC. But yeah, let's look at we're gonna look at the ICP now, and that's just my my opinion, not financial advice. You can do whatever you want with your money. I am not in charge of your money. You can do whatever you want, but I would stick with XRP for the moment now. I think XRP is ready to go up versus ZBEC. All right, now we're looking at Internet Computer trading at $5.34. And, well, you got some dogs barking in the background there. Internet Computer. Okay, looks like Internet Computer is trying to bottom out here. It has seen better days here back in December. I'm just trying to give you guys an overall, you know, for those who don't know about ICP, maybe they might be interested, but they want to know the history behind it. And, like, this ICP has been at, like, as high as, like, $15 in December. So for us to be at like $5, that's like, what, a 66% haircut? That's a pretty steep discount. All right, getting back into ICP. Normally, when I see something or I'm expecting something to bottom out, I want to see some bullish divergence. And I think I kind of see a little bit of that with the higher lows here on the RSI. This red line here is creating some higher lows here. You got a low, higher low here. So that's good to see. Okay, of course, you have made lower lows here on price. And I'm just eyeballing this being low. I don't know if you want to count that wick there, but you have made lower lows on price, obviously. That's why you're at the lows or thinking about bottoming out here. So you got your bullish divergence that has started to play out here. It means, all that means is that buyers have started to show up at these prices. They actually like these prices. And you're looking at the next order of business as far as bottoming out here is you want to start making higher highs than the last previous high that you made. Okay, so the last previous high so far on the daily time frame, if you disregard this, but if you count this, I mean, you have like highs here of like $6.13. You got to get above $6.13 to show that you're actually making higher highs here. Ideally, you want to get higher than the highs here that you made back in March here when this thing was as high as $6.37, and then yeah, $6.37. So you can mark that on the chart here. All right. Once you get above 637, 638, that red number there, then you can start to become even more bullish on this crypto. And as it starts making higher highs and hopefully higher lows here, you're probably going to bump your head up against this 200-day moving average at $7.90. That's probably going to be your first take profit target, is $7.90 area. And then as you start climbing up to higher prices here on ICP, I do see some sideways trading action here at like $9. So I think $9 is another good take profit target, and then also probably $10 as well. So like it's like going to be like 7, 9, and 10 should be your take profit targets going forward here on ICP. Let me go ahead and pull on the VRVP here real quick. See what the levels are looking like here. You got your value area high at like $10. So yeah, $10 is probably going to be a good price to sell this, and you basically be doubling your money. Like I said earlier in this live stream, if you guys double your money on any of these cryptos, you should be selling something. I know some people like to sell half of their position and then let the other half ride. So you basically get your money back after you double, and then you let the rest ride, and it's just like holding on to the house's money in the casino, right? You're playing with the house's money at that point because you got your money back, right? After you double, you take half, and then you do whatever you want with that half. But you know, you're not supposed to put it back in, and then you let the rest of it just ride up, and it's just like free money at that point. All right, so we looked at ICP, and then what was the other one that we were supposed to look at? Injective. We'll take a look at Injective. Appreciate the follow. Don't forget to hit that follow button, guys, if you're new to the Meat Gaming channel here and you want to see these live streams pop up in your feed. Let's go ahead and yep, we'll look at Injective. And then we got another one for Render. Oh, so you guys want to look at those AI coins, huh? Okay. And then we got one for OM. All right. Let me get a swig of water here. All right. Moving on to Injective. Injective on move down on Binance Exchange here. Injective currently trading at $14.75 here. I'm using my favorite indicator, the VRVP, to figure out the levels that we need to go to, where we need to be worried about certain levels here. And with the VRVP, it paints this blue line is a very important line. That's the point of control. This is just measuring how many people bought and sold at different prices here. And the majority of people bought at the POC, which is below us, at $9.82. That leads me to believe that this thing could be a little bit overvalued, and it might want to come back down to that POC. Doesn't have to, but it could come back down to the POC. And if you could get this Injective at like $9.80, I think you're doing pretty well for yourself. That should be a good support area if it does come down. But if Injective continues to be bullish here, it has to contend against these high volume nodes here, all this red and green here. And you got some volume here, like $15.26. Once you get past $15.26, the gap here in the VRVP drops, right? You got a big gap here, and you probably won't see any resistance until you get to like $20. And $20 is your value area high. That's that white line there. Okay, that value area high should be where people are going to want to start selling on you. And that kind of makes sense because if you look back here on this white line, the value area high, you got like a lot of people that bought and sold Injective at like $20 in like December and January. So I think $20 should be your first take profit target because you're going to get dumped on by everybody that wants to like get out of Injective and just break even. But if you can make it past $20 and you continue being bullish, then yeah, I mean, you got some nodes here at $24 and another node here at $26 and some more at like $30. So you should just lay yourself out. I mean, I think this thing could get up to like $30, which it was trading at back in like December and November of last year. And you basically double your money at that point. And you should be happy if you doubled your money because not too many people get to say that. Okay? And you, in my opinion, you should be selling something. Maybe half of your position and then just keep the rest of it. You basically got you got free Injective at that point if you double your money. Get your money back, take half of it back, and you just play with the house's money at that point. So that's just that's Injective in a nutshell. There, let's throw on some other indicators here. See what the moving averages are doing. And you got some resistance here from the 200-day moving average sitting at like $16.90. That could be another resistance area. But if Injective does come down for whatever reason, you do have the green line here acting as support. It should act as support, and that's the 50-day moving average sitting at like $10. So if you're lucky enough to get Injective at like $10 or $11, then you should scoop it up, in my opinion, because it just might be a good amount of support where you can then send this thing back up to higher prices here. But it looks like Injective actually wants to go to higher prices right now. Okay, you might not actually see that $10, $11 area here. Let me just look at the MACD here real quick. I gotta continue. This thing is all out of whack here, but yeah, it looks like the selling pressure is coming to an end here, and buying pressure is starting to show up. You got some green candles showing up on the MACD, and then the RSI is at 66, so you got some room to run here and not be overbought. And the stochastic RSI is also pretty low, so this thing is primed and ready to go to higher prices if I believe if Bitcoin continues being bullish here. You'll start seeing Injective start making a move up here to higher prices. All right, we'll take a look at the render now. Actually, I think I got it saved up in one of my cryptos here. Yeah, we got render currently trading at $4.65. Render is also having low stochastics on the RSI. Stochastic RSI is pretty low, so this thing is primed and ready to go. MACD is also showing less selling pressure. Maybe you'll start seeing some green candles showing up on the MACD going into later on this week and next week. And RSI is also creating higher lows here, and you're not that overbought either. You're at 49. I think render has a lot more room to be running up to higher prices than Injective in this case here. And now we're zooming in and looking at the moving averages here. Render does have the 200-day moving average above it at $5.57. That should be your first take profit target where this thing might get rejected. Looks like we already got rejected here on Sunday, May 11th. We got up to that level here. So I think there's going to be some people that want to sell that 200-day moving average at 557. But if Injective continues being bullish here, we do have this Fibonacci analysis saying that the 1618 should be $7.24. You should be thinking about selling your render at that price. You almost basically be doubling your money if it does get up to that price. And then let's see. Let me go into full battle station mode here, and we'll pull the VRVP. VRVP. Let's see. Right now the value of your high is at $7. So I think $7. You get the high volume node here. $7 should be a good area to start selling your render. Take some profits at that level. But yeah, we even got like what, the 2618 saying this thing could be a $10 crypto. And we have seen $10 back in like December here. Almost like $12 here on Coinbase Exchange. So I think, yeah, if you double your money, you should definitely be selling something. You should consider selling something there. All right, we'll take a look at OM. USD. Is that Mantra, I believe? Yeah, Mantra. Take a look at it on Kraken Exchange. Oh my god. Wasn't there something that happened with Mantra? Like, I think something bad happened. Because obviously you can see that on the chart here. This thing was trading at like $6 in the beginning of April. And then something happened here on April 13th. I forgot what it was. I'm not sure if it was like a hack or something, but this thing dropped 83% that day. So, yikes. Is Mantra able to recover? Oh, I think what happened with Mantra, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the founders took a bunch of their coins and sold it, got rid of it, and it pretty much destroyed the project. So I don't know if you want to be in this project, but you requested it. You made that request here. The POC is saying that a lot of people are now buying this thing at like 41 cents, 40 cents here. So you're kind of already at the POC. This thing has room to go to the upside if it will allow it to. But you got a high volume node here at like 54 cents. So some people might want to start selling at 54 cents. They might start dumping on you at that price. And then you got the value area high at like 70 cents here. So some more people are going to start dumping on you. And that's basically a double in price. If you double in price, you should be selling, in my opinion. But if this thing does come down to lower prices, you got the value area low, you should get some support at like 35 cents, all right? And it looks like we're just creating higher lows here as of now on Mantra. But you want to start creating some higher highs here to confirm that you're actually in an uptrend and you're bottoming out here. But this thing has a lot of work to do, in my opinion. Let's see, the RSI is still oversold, believe it or not. Anytime your RSI is below 30, you're considered oversold. And this thing is at 26 right now. We have seen it in the 17s and 16 area, in the teens, back in April and early May. So this has been a lot of damage done to this crypto, and I don't know if it's going to be able to get back to where it was earlier this year. But I guess there's some people, I mean, if you made this request, you're probably trying to scoop up the bottom, hoping that this thing actually has some life in it later on this year. But I'd be very wary. I mean, it's low risk, right? You can put your stop loss at like 35, 34 cents. And if this thing continues to drop down, then there's something still wrong with it. But I'll keep the stop loss tight at like 34 cents. And then you can see if this thing climbs back up to 70 cents and you basically double your money. For the most part, yeah. Alright, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments here. XCN, that's the next request. Okay, we'll take a look at XCN. Onyx coin. Yeah, Mantra got crushed. Oh, bit sensor. That's the other one. All right, so we'll look at Tau bit sensor first, and since that came in first, and then we'll look at Onyx coin after that. All right. Yeah, let's look at Tau. Then we looked at Tau yesterday. I don't know if you're the same guy that requested it, but we did look at this coin yesterday. But we'll look at it again. Why not? Tau currently trading at $446, up 2.5% today. And we're looking at all this data here with the VRVP and stuff like that. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP for now. Just looking at the moving averages, this thing did get above the 200-day moving average, so it is showing some strength here. That's good to see. That means this thing has some potential to be bullish here. MACD is showing some light pink. I'm glad to see that, because that means selling pressure is dying down, and you might be getting some buying pressure showing up. Stochastic RSI is also pretty low here on Tau. That's good to see. And then my little cheat sheet, Market Cipher B, with all the green and red dots here. It's saying that you just had a green dot today. It's saying that you should be buying Tau right now. Who knows? You could possibly be getting some more upside price action on this crypto. And right now the regular RSI is at 57, so this thing has like some room to go to the upside before it's considered overbought. And now I think I'm ready to turn on the VRVP, because let's see if this thing could go up to higher prices here with the VRVP. That's the green and red bars here. You got the POC right where you're at right now, so that's going to be preventing you from going to higher prices until you can actually turn this into support. And if you do turn it to support, you do have a value area high at 473, so it might not do an explosive move anytime soon, but once it gets past 473, you do have a gap in the VRVP, and you could see 527 or even 565 here, going up to higher prices. And then even higher than that, you got like some more high volume at like $700. I think you could see $700 in the future here, because this thing was trading at like roughly $700 back in December. And I think that would be a good take profit target. That should be a long-term target on Tau here. Now, if Tau does decide to become bearish for whatever reason, you do have the 200-day moving average that should provide support at $407. But if it loses that, then you got a gap in the VRVP, and this thing could drop pretty hard down to the POC. And the POC is sitting at 362. And you also got the 100-day moving average is also sitting at around 360. So I think 360, you should get some support. You might be lucky enough to buy some Tau at that level, if we do get a drop for whatever reason down to that level. Alright. Ah, Jeff, you weren't here yesterday. Where were you? Yeah, you're probably at a barbecue or something. I get it. I I know a lot. I got a lot more people today in today's live stream than I did yesterday because everybody was at their barbecues enjoying their Memorial Day day off, and I get it. Oh, Jeff, you were working? No, damn. Go get that money. Go buy yourself some more towel. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Onyx coin. We're now looking at Onyx coin trading at a little bit under 2 pennies, about 0.18 pennies here. I do have some previous chart work here. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP for now. But I think we have been looking at Onyx coin. This thing was kind of almost in a descending triangle, which could also be part of this bull flag, okay, or bullish pennant for some people who want to be technical about it. But yeah, this thing was trying to get out of the descending triangle here, which is good to see, and it looks like it actually we tested the downside resistance here on May 17th, and we've been using the 21 EMA, this white line, as roughly support for now. Let me go ahead and get rid of this line here for now. And so you're just creating like bull flags, in my opinion, here. Okay, trying to get up and to the right, creating higher low, higher low, higher low here. So that's good to see. That's good to see. I might have to adjust this. This is no longer in play here. I might even just get rid of it, to be honest. I'm just gonna get rid of it. But yeah, this thing is slowly but surely creating higher lows here. That's good to see. Let's take a look at the RSI. RSI is at 50 or 49, so that means it has room to run if it does decide to go to higher prices. MACD is showing some red candles here. When you start seeing pink candles showing up on the MACD, that means buyers, the selling pressure is dying down and buyers are stepping in. That's usually a good time, in my opinion, to buy a little bit of the asset, because you're probably turning the corner as far as you know, creating a higher low, and then you might be seeing some higher prices after that. And then here on the stochastic RSI, stochastic RSI is also pretty low on the daily time frame, so that's good to go. That means we are primed and ready to go to higher prices as soon as we catch some more bids here. And Cypher B, Market Cypher B, is saying that you did have a red dot on Friday, but the good thing about having a red dot means that the next dot is going to be a green dot, and that's when you'll know for damn sure, using this little cheat sheet, that you should be buying when you see a green dot show up. Okay, so I think this thing is primed and ready to go, Onyx coin. And if it does decide to go to higher prices here, we do have some previous Fibonacci analysis here. The 1618 says this thing could get up to like 4 pennies pretty much. And if you get the 4 pennies, you double your money. And once again, like I've said, you should probably sell something if you doubled your money in any of these assets here. And that is Onyx coin. All right. JM's asking, what's the hype in crypto? JM, you missed a lot. Previously in this live stream, we were talking about how Donald Trump, his company, is going to be buying like $2 billion worth of Bitcoin using, I'm sorry, actually $3 billion of Bitcoin using stock from his company. And also they're going to be taking a little bit of debt to be buying Bitcoin. Let me see if I can pull up the previous article here. This is what's going on with crypto. Trump Media Group plans to raise about $3 billion to spend on cryptocurrencies. This news article came out today. Obviously, Donald Trump's been involved in Bitcoin for a while now. Here's him at the Bitcoin conference in 2024 back in Nashville. So he's already familiar with cryptocurrencies. He's a big advocate for crypto and Bitcoin. And this is saying that the Trump family media company, right? Trump Media and Technology Group, they're planning on buying $3 billion of cryptocurrencies, and they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna use $2 billion. They're gonna sell $2 billion of their stock, and then they're gonna use another $1 billion in bonds to go buy about $3 billion of Bitcoin and maybe some other cryptocurrencies as well. But that's what the big stink is about Bitcoin right now. You know, if you're wondering who's buying Bitcoin at $108,000, $109,000, it's Donald Trump. It's your boy Donald Trump is buying Bitcoin right now. And planning on buying Bitcoin. They haven't even bought it yet. Well, they do have some exposure to crypto and Bitcoin, but they're planning on buying more. That's the point. Yeah, I think XCN has potential. I think Onyx Coin has potential to go up higher. Yep. Users ask me, what do you think good coins to buy now? Which can do 6x, 7x? I would stick to artificial intelligence coins, and there might be some meme coins that could do 6 or 7x for you. But just know that when you get involved with the 6 and 7x's, you're probably there's a chance that you could lose half your money. If you can't stomach losing half your money in any of these coins, then you shouldn't be trying to go for a 7x. But if you can stomach, losing half your money, then yeah, you might be able to find a coin that coin could probably do like a 6 or 7x. Let me see. You have shares in Trump's company, DJT? Yeah. DJT's not doing so well because they're planning on selling some of their stock to go buy that Bitcoin. And then ETH has the liquidity, is what WTF LOL really is saying. You want a 6 or 10x? TARS 8. Jeff is thinking that TARS AI will get you a 6 or 7x. All right, let's see. So let's look at TARS AI since you mentioned it. This is an AI cryptocurrency. Let's see, TARS AI. You can buy it on. Can you buy it on Coinbase? You can buy it on Mexi Exchange. Maybe you might be able to buy it on Coinbase Wallet using decentralized exchanges. But anyways, looking at TARS AI, currently trading at 14 cents, and my buddy thinks this could like 7x here. This thing has bottomed out back in April. This thing was trading at like 3.5 cents, but now you're at 14 cents. So the move has already been made on TARS AI, but it doesn't mean it can't go higher. If it does go higher, you got some resistance at 18 cents. But could this thing 6 or 7x? You would have to basically get to the highs, I think, here at like 50 cents back in December. And let's just measure that out. If we were to go from where we are right now to 50 cents, how much of a percentage gain is that? Well, 247% gain. That's almost like a triple, right? If I just do the calculator, I can do my calculator right here. If we go to, what do we say, 56? Wait, what was the price? Yeah, about 50 cents. So if we go from 50, from where we are at like 14 cents, that's a 3.5x. So I don't know if that qualifies as a 7x. I'll show you a coin I think can do a 7 or 10x on you. AIT. Just a disclosure, I actually own this coin, okay? But going into AIT, can we? Is this thing going to show? All right, here we go. AIT currently trading at a little bit over a penny and a half. This coin has bottomed out in April, just like the other cryptocurrencies. But this thing, right? If it could get back up to like just 11 cents, it will 10x on you, right? Do I really need to measure that out for you? If this thing can get back to where it was in November of last year, you got yourself a 498% gain. Okay, so that's actually more like a 5x. But this thing has been higher than that, though. Look what this thing was trading at back in like May. It was trading at like 37 cents. And you can get it for a penny and a half. And then look at this back here in March of 2024, March of last year. This thing was trading at $1, and you can get it for like a penny right now. So this is an AI cryptocurrency. Has a pretty good website. You should check it out. And AIT, I believe, is going to be your 10x, 20x, right? Maybe a 50x. I would take a look at AIT. And you get AIT, you can get that on Coinbase wallet using decentralized exchanges. You can also get it on the Phantom wallet, and that uses decentralized exchanges. You would have to look at Coinbase wallet and Phantom wallet. Not to be confused with Coinbase Exchange. Coinbase Exchange doesn't have AIT, but if you open up a Coinbase account with Coinbase Exchange, then you get into the Coinbase wallet, and then you can go find yourself some AIT, and you could probably get, you know, your hands on AIT, and maybe get like a 20x or a 50x. This is my home run coin right here. If you guys want to do a home run, you're really trying to get those gains, I would start looking at this one. Yeah, Jeff, if you want to buy AIT, you would have to go on a decentralized exchange. You can do it with Coinbase Wallet, or you can do it with Phantom Wallet. I will look up Phantom Wallet, and I will look at Coinbase Wallet to get your hands on this one. Okay. Guro is asking about Cardano. All right. We'll take a look at Cardano. And guys, I think I'm gonna get. I'm getting close to the end of. I got some other things I need to do. I appreciate the requests here, but I think Cardano, and I'm gonna look at maybe Ethereum after this, and that's gonna be it for this live stream here. User 472, you're asking me target. Are you asking me about like what the price target is, or are you asking me about target the stock? Right now, we're currently looking at Cardano, currently trading at 75 cents here. As I start to zoom in on Cardano, it's looking good. You know, it's creating those higher lows and higher highs as it should be to try to create an uptrend here. I do have a previous Fibonacci analysis showing that, you know, Cardano could come down to probably like around this 50-day moving average, sitting at like 71 cents, 72 cents. And that's where the 0.618 retracement level's at. So as long as Cardano stays at those 72 cents, you're doing quite all right, in my opinion. But you have to get above this 200-day moving average at 82 cents and flip that to support instead of resistance, which I think it could happen later on this week, especially if Bitcoin climbs up to higher prices here. And if Cardano does continue to go up to higher prices here, I think you got the 1618 saying that Cardano could be $1.08. Okay, using the Fibonacci analysis here. And $1.08, I think that's where his previous high was at. Yeah, back in March, you saw Cardano at $1.13, $1.17 here, but it didn't stay up that price for too long. And then we saw some sideways trading action at 90 cents back in December, but Cardano was $1, and it traded above $1 in the previous altcoin season that we had in December of 2024. So I think, yeah, if Cardano gets up to $1, you should think about selling some of it. I'm not sure how much higher Cardano could go, but we do have a 2618 that says $1.44, and then we have a 3618 that says $1.79. And if you get to $1.44, you're basically doubling your money with Cardano. You should be selling. Like I said, any of these cryptos, I think all these cryptos are capable of doubling in price, and if they do, you should consider selling some of your Cardano. I mean, some of your cryptos. Any asset that doubles in price, and you did that in less than 1 year, you should be selling something, in my opinion. Yeah, take a look at Coinbase Wallet, and also the Phantom Wallet. Okay. And Ross, you're welcome. It's actually the VRVP indicator, but yeah, I'm glad I was able to produce that video, and I'm glad to see that you actually liked it. And yeah, good stuff. Jeff is saying Ethereum is getting ready to rock, and I believe Ethereum is getting ready to rock here. Looks like we're getting some last minute discounts here before it breaks through 2,700 bucks, but we need Ethereum to get above this 200-day moving average, which is acting as resistance at $2,700. We actually need to flip that into support, and if it does, we could see Ethereum launch itself up to like the 1618, currently trading at $3,300. We could see a $3,300 Ethereum in the future here. Hey Dave, see that you're in the chat there. Appreciate you smashing that like button. Thank you, and letting everybody else know that they need to smash that like button. And then the 2618 on Ethereum says we could see a $4,300 Ethereum. That's probably going to be later on this year. Also, $3,300 is probably going to be later on this year. But $3,300, that could happen. I think, when Donald Trump and the Trump administration comes up with these trade deals, remember, 4th of July, around like 4th of July, the first week of July, is when these deadlines are for the 90-day pause on these tariffs. And if these countries don't make the trade deal between now and the first week of July, then they're going to get hit with these tariffs. And I think the month of June is actually going to be pretty good for cryptocurrencies and the stock market, because I think we're going to start seeing some trade deals coming in next month. And I think that's going to cause a lot of these cryptos to go nuts, and that's probably going to be when the altcoin season starts, is when we get these trade deals coming. So we'll see. Of course, Bitcoin climbing up in price also helps too. And when Bitcoin goes up to all-time highs, these altcoins are going to try to catch up, and that could also be a little bit of the altcoin season. So it's shaping up to be like altcoin season. Seems like it might be starting now. And we'll definitely be in altcoin season when those trade deals come in my opinion. Okay? So when you guys are asking, like, when altcoin season? I think altcoin season will start and go into full swing when we get those trade deals. But let's look at Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance is how we actually measure when altcoin season is coming. And you'll see that with Bitcoin dominance at 63.91%, Bitcoin owns about 63% of all the money in crypto right now is in Bitcoin. And we've seen this thing top out here back on May 7th at like 65%. That was a high. And now it looks like we're creating a lower high. Altcoin season might be starting, guys, right now. Because we're getting this like red candle here. If we get some more red candles and send the dominance of Bitcoin down, we want to see Bitcoin dominance get down to this red line, the 200-day moving average, at like 60%. If you see Bitcoin dominance get down like 60%, you know for sure that you're in altcoin season, because last time we got down to the 200-day moving average was like back here in December, okay? When we had, a drop in Bitcoin dominance in November going into December. This was your altcoin season. When you lose that 200-day moving average, especially if you can go below the 200-day moving average, that is your altcoin season. But guys, if we get down to the 200-day moving average and we're below it, you should seriously start considering selling your altcoins, because that probably means we're in altcoin season. We're in full swing altcoin season. And if you want to sell your altcoins at good prices, you want to sell when Bitcoin dominance is below the red line here, below the 200-day moving average on the Bitcoin dominance. That should be your indication to sell your altcoins. You don't have to sell all of them, but you should sell something so you can actually make profit and say you made money in crypto. That's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want. Not financial advice. Jeff says you're from Destin, Florida. Okay. You heard today Florida announced some legislations on capital gains on Bitcoin and XRP and stocks. Yeah, I heard about that news. They're not going to do capital gains on your crypto, but that's only for like the state level. They're still going to tax you on the federal level. So I would be nice if the Trump administration is able to do no tax on crypto on the federal level. That would help a lot of people out. But nice to see that Florida's trying to do it. That's very nice. I might have to move down to Florida if that's the case. But guys, I think that's it for this live stream here. We'll go right back to Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin trading at $109,000, that's okay. As long as Bitcoin's just trading sideways, that's actually really good for altcoins. If we trade sideways here. But if Bitcoin does come down, like I said, this purple buy zone that I highlighted here, If you can get Bitcoin between 102,000 and 105,000, you're doing pretty well for yourself, in my opinion. You might be lucky enough if Bitcoin goes below 100K. You could scoop some up in this other purple buy zone between like $94,000 and $98,000 is a good buy zone. But I don't know. I mean, if Donald Trump and the Trump media company is going to buy $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, we might never see Bitcoin go below 100 grand. This might be it. And we might be seeing some really good times for crypto going into the next month. Trade deals coming in. That's gonna be good for the stock market and crypto. And we might actually see some really good times this summer. I think 4th of July, a lot of you guys are gonna be high-fiving each other being involved in crypto here. Because if Bitcoin continues what it's doing right now, we have a 1618 that says Bitcoin can get up to $123,000. And then we have a 2618 saying that Bitcoin can get up to $141,000. And I'll even slap on this other indicator here for you guys, which is also a pretty useful indicator. And that's the Pi Cycle Top Indicator. And the Pi Cycle Top Indicator, it gives me this orange line and this green line. And the green line is saying that Bitcoin could get up to $161,000, and that would actually be normal. So I think higher prices for Bitcoin are coming. We've been going up to higher prices ever since April, and we really haven't had a correction or anything like that, for that matter. We just been going up and to the right, up and to the right, and the only time you get a correction is when Bitcoin's going sideways now, and then we go up again, and then we go sideways, and then we go up. And now, right now we're going sideways. This could be the time to be buying Bitcoin before we hit 120 grand or 141 grand. And I hate to sound like a moon boy, but or get too excited, but I think it's in the charts here. Like, we have low stochastics on the RSI. Stochastic RSI is low, even though Bitcoin's climbing up. And then even here on the regular RSI, we're not even overbought. And then here on the MACD, we actually have red candles on the MACD. What happens when we get green candles? If this thing flips bullish, I mean, you're gonna see Bitcoin at 120 grand, in my opinion, in no time. Okay? And we just had a red dot here on Saturday, but guess what happens after a red dot? You get yourself a green dot, and that could happen later on today, tomorrow, or next week, and then we're gonna see Bitcoin make the headlines again in the news. Probably see $120,000 Bitcoin, and then $130,000 Bitcoin, and then what is that going to do to everybody and the animal spirits that are out there? You guys are sitting pretty good right now in crypto, in my opinion, because I think we're going to see some good things in the next month or two here. Chris is saying, would this be considered price compression? Yes, it's considered consolidation, if that's what you mean by price compression. We are getting consolidation, but that's actually seems like the only time you can actually get some cheaper Bitcoin or be able to add Bitcoin is when it's consolidating, in my opinion here. Because I don't know. We haven't really got... We'll probably get a correction when we hit 120 grand. When we get to 120 grand, maybe we come back down to like 105, 110 again. Or if we go up to 130, 140, we might come down to 100, where we're at right now at 109. But I really think this thing is primed and ready to go, especially with Donald Trump about to buy some more Bitcoin. And who knows, every time Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy tries to buy more because what the Bitcoin that they already own, they can then, take out collateral loans against it to go buy even more Bitcoin. But yeah, Jeff is saying still need to build your Bitcoin bags. What do you think can drop in? What do you think in? I'm trying to read this right. What do I think is going to drop in the bear market? Well, we'll see what happens when the bear market actually happens. In my opinion, bear market is when Bitcoin gets below its 200-day moving average. Okay, we kind of had like almost like a mini bear market in Bitcoin back in like March. Okay, this was like a very short bear market in Bitcoin. But yeah, if Bitcoin goes below its 200-day moving average, that red line, then I consider that a bear market. And then you have to look out for the rest of these altcoins. The meme coins are going to drop the hardest during a bear market. Then some of these low market cap cryptocurrencies are also going to drop the hardest. I think Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum, and Ripple, and Sui, I think they'll do pretty well during a bear market, but they're also going to get hit hard pretty well. We'll talk about later. I don't think the bear market's going to show up probably until maybe later on this year or sometime next year, maybe early next year. I don't know. But we are getting close to seeing some crazy prices here, and eventually people are going to start selling, and then that's going to be the bear market, the start of the bear market. The start of the bear market is also going to be with that pi cycle indicator. When that orange line comes up and joins the green line here, that's when you should start considering selling your Bitcoin and getting out of crypto. But this thing is so far apart from each other. Right now, the orange line's at 91,000. The green line's at 161,000. I don't think you have to start worrying about a bear market until we get to 160 grand, in my opinion. Based on what this pi cycle indicator has done. Like back here in 2021 is when the orange line caught up to the green line. And then that was the start of your bear market. And then we kind of had a little fluke here where we came back up again. But then we went back into the bear market in 2022. So pi cycle indicator is going to help you figure out when the bear market starts for Bitcoin and crypto here. Okay. All right, that's it for this live stream here, guys. Appreciate you coming on to live stream, and be on the lookout for my next live stream. I might go live same time tomorrow or maybe a little bit earlier. Okay. Take care, guys, and good luck in investing in whatever asset you decide to get invested in here. Take care, guys. All right. Oh, not that one.